Way back in a bygone era before a lot of you youngsters were born, there was a time called the 1990s. The year was 1995, I think. And that was when I put my grubby little hands on the very first video game that I've ever played. And that game was Super Mario World. I think. At least that's the game that I think about when I recall my earliest memories of video games. And it's no wonder, given that Super Mario World is still considered one of the greatest games of all time to this very day. But why is that? And why is it that I'm shelling out $500 30 years later to keep playing games featuring this mustachioed plumber, a gorilla that really loves smashing stuff, and monsters that you catch in these little red and white balls and forced to fight each other like some sort of sick and twisted underground fight club? I think the truth is that there's never been a better time to be a Nintendo fan. Whether you're into Pokémon, my personal favorite, Mario, Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda, or any one of their other incredible franchises, it's a really exciting time. Especially with the Switch 2 launching in just a matter of days. And if you're like me, you can't wait to get your hands on this new console. Whether it's to play new games, or just play existing games that are your favorites with actually decent frame rates. I'm talking about you, Scarlet and Violet! So today, I'm going to share a little bit about why I think Nintendo games are so special, and what I'm looking forward to most about the Nintendo Switch 2. Hey guys, Chase here, welcome to Mega Chaser X. If you can't already tell, I'm a massive Pokemon fan and just a Nintendo nerd in general. So with Switch 2 launch day almost here, I've been thinking, why am I such a Nintendo fan? Why did I spend that money on this console and not on a PlayStation, an Xbox, or any other number of things? To answer that question, I can't help but look back at some of the games that have made me such a true believer in all things Nintendo, and in many ways have shaped who I am as a person. Yeah, we're getting all kinds of introspective up in here. I'm talking about Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Red and Blue, Pokemon Gold and Silver, the list goes on. These are the kind of games that shaped an entire generation. They're the gold standard by which we judge all the games that came after them. But why do these games resonate with us so much? I think I know what the answer is, and you tell me if I'm wrong. It's Nintendo. Nintendo is just a special company that for so many of us invokes more feelings of magic and nostalgia than Disney World does to a 6-year-old kid. Or an adult, since apparently that's a thing now, but I'm in no position to judge considering I'm a grown man making Pokemon videos. Oh, before anyone says, hey, Nintendo didn't develop all those games, I realize that, but they were published by Nintendo, so bear with me here. But Nintendo games are just magical, and as a nerdy little kid, these characters, these stories, these worlds that I immersed myself in, these were more than just games to me. They were places where I had adventures and achieved things that no one else really knew about or appreciated. But that was okay because just having those experiences for myself was more than enough. And they still stick with me today. Because will anyone ever really know what it felt like to earn your very first gym badge? Or see your very first starter evolve? Or to defeat Blue and become champion? Or find that mutant monster that was hiding in the deepest, darkest corner of Cerulean Cave? Or to defeat Bowser? Or find that secret exit? Or finally beat that level that you've been stuck on for months, or whatever it may be. To me, these games are legendary. These are games that hold up to this day. These are games that made our childhood. These are games that speak to us. These are games that I hold very near and dear that no one will ever take from me. Sorry about that. But I'm willing to bet that if you're like me, you too have a ton of really fond memories about games just like these. Or maybe if you're a little younger than me, you might have fond memories about some of the more recent entries in Nintendo's history. You might have started with the Game Boy Advance, or the GameCube, or the Wii, or dare I say the Wii U, or the 3DS, or whatever. And for you, those consoles, those games, invoke just as many warm and fuzzy feelings as the Game Boy Color or the Super Nintendo do for me. This is probably weird, but I never even had a non-Nintendo console. Except for the PlayStation 2, which I think my dad got me one year for some reason. But I consider that the one exception to my otherwise flawless fanboy credentials. Because everybody and their grandma had a PlayStation 2, you know. Side note, the PS2 is the best-selling console of all time with 160 million units sold, which is almost triple the combined sales of all of its competitors, including the Nintendo GameCube. Anyway, let's take a look at one of these games that made me the mega Nintendo fan that I am today. And in this case, it's the game. The game that I think brought me to this point. Yep, you knew it was coming. It's Super Mario World. And really, what more can be said about this game? To this day, it is still considered the side-scrolling platformer, and it's titled appropriately because an entire world is exactly what it felt like. It was strange, it was wacky, it was upbeat and colorful, it was mysterious. It was everything you could ask for in a Mario game and then some. For me, what stands out the most about Super Mario World is the colorful cast of characters, including the enemies, and the sense of freedom that you felt in exploring the overworld and forging your own path right to Bowser's doorstep. And also, the soundtrack. The creatures you encounter in this game have since become quintessential Mario characters, but at the time, they were brand new. I mean, think about it. We've got Yoshi, we've got Big Boo, we've got Chargin' Chuck, we've got Magic Koopa. These are the kind of baddies that melt your heart and instill fear in it at the same time. I mean, look at how dang cute these things are. Mario himself was more expressive than ever, and you couldn't help but feel emotionally involved in making sure that this stubby little fella jumped, dashed, twirled, and flew his way all the way to Bowser's doorstep. And don't even get me started on that final boss battle. Absolutely amazing. But before you got there, you had 70 some odd levels to traverse your way through. And with 96 total exits, there were plenty of surprises to uncover. That's part of what makes this game just so amazing, because no two playthroughs are the same. There are so many different ways that you can play it, whether your goal is getting to the end or not. If it is, there's a ton of different ways to get there. Do you take that secret exit in Donut Plains and go straight to Bowser? Up to you. Do you grab the color switches or don't bother to make things a little more challenging? Totally your call. Do you smash your SNES controller after your 142nd failed attempt at Tubular in the special zone and curse the very day you were born? Go for it! But the point is, this was a groundbreaking new world to explore that Mario fans hadn't seen anything like before. And thanks to Super Mario World's absolutely killer soundtrack composed by Koji Kondo, you can be sure it sounded revolutionary too. And I'm not gonna lie, I still jam to some of these to this day. So there you have it, the very first game that I ever played. The game that ultimately ended up in me pre-ordering the Switch 2. I had to stay up until midnight. Don't judge, your body starts falling apart in your 30s. What's funny is that Target's entire website crashed the night that pre-orders opened up. Which gave me a little satisfaction for two reasons. Number one, Target's just pretentious Walmart for upper middle class suburban moms in leggings sipping on $8 coffees, and you know I'm right. And number two, Nintendo's still got it, and they've got the demand to prove it. Really and truly, Nintendo hit a home run with the Switch. And to me, they finally hit their console stride after combining the best of both worlds, playing at home and on the go. Handheld gaming has always been their strong suit. So I'm glad they're doubling down on that format and sticking with the Switch, which in my mind is perfect in terms of concept. So, with the Switch 2 coming in just a few short days on June 5th, did they improve on that winning formula? While obviously I haven't gotten one yet, I'd like to think so. That's it for now. Hey, I really appreciate you guys checking out this video. It's my very first for this channel. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit like and be sure to subscribe for more Nintendo and Pokemon content coming very soon. And also, I'd love to hear about what you want to see. What are some of your favorite Nintendo franchises or games that you remember most from your childhood? Are you a big Pokemon nerd like me? Or are you into another series that you'd like to see more of? Be sure to let me know in a comment. I'd really like to hear from you. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you next time.